Hi, my name is Gerhard Gschwandtner, and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today, we're going to have an interesting conversation with Mark Walker. He's joining us from Toronto. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Gerhard. Nice to be here.
Let's get to the core of the issue that you're raising with great success is that the definition of value in a marketplace is different from customer to customer and also from customer to vendor.
And on top of that, there's logistical problems with the old models when the pace of change goes through the roof. One is a realignment of the apportionment of value, and the second one is a need to maintain customer relationships and grow them without recontracting.
Traditionally, salespeople got a commission when the sale was completed. But now you introduce a model where you pay for results, where you pay in advance, where you burn down the credits.
Or not. Like the other one is like, yes, that's a model. How do you compensate the salesperson when that's not the model? Like, in other words, when you contract with somebody to do something, but they don't pay you in advance, they pay you as they go, and then they have a catch-up billing if they don't consume it. This is incredibly difficult because there's no certainty that what they contracted for will be the outcome.
So what you're saying that the old systems are more rigid and your company provides your customer with the luxury of flexibility.
I would say the old systems aren't just rigid, they're just completely wrong-headed.
Walk us through that credit and commit burn down. Why is that really the end of the traditional subscription model?
The idea of these models is not completely new. Token-based systems and annual commit contracts have existed for some time. So what are the advantages of the two systems? The first big advantage is that they disconnect the spend from the consumption of any particular resource. And the second thing it does is they provide a trade-off between budgetary certainty and price. And it's happening for two really big reasons. One is that the products that you might be choosing and the percentage or the distribution of those products within that contract is not certain at the beginning of the contract. But the second thing that's happening is that conventional software companies are introducing things that effectively compete with their own products. People think it's easier for the major AI companies because they basically weren't selling anything 3 years ago, but they are iterating products so fast, right, that they have this problem, even though they've only been in the market for 3 years.
I sense that there is an efficiency paradox where AI can reduce the headcount, but it increases the usage. So that companies that make their software very effective, they actually end up penalizing themselves under the seat-based pricing. How does Burndown solve that contradiction without making the sales conversation incredibly complex?
There are really three different types. One is credit pool burndown. And in that case, the many different things you could use are aggregated into tokens. The second one is just the cash equivalent of the same thing. I'm going to spend $1 million with your company, and I pay you the $1 million up front. And now I've got cash, and then what's burning down is a discounted rate of whatever products I consume. And then the third one is what's called post-pay committed spend contracts. You committed to the $10 million. You didn't pay the $10 million up front. We just bill you on a consumption basis. And at the end, we bill you for the difference, or we change the contract. So the way it solves the problem is that the customer, first of all, gets to choose their own adventure, or the customer and the vendor get to have a negotiation about perceived confidence in whether they're going to consume these different things. In the long term, what it's doing is having a customer who's very comfortable the vendor is focused on driving real value.
Pricing and CPQ and all those old systems, they're up for change and negotiation and evolution and innovation. So what are the biggest mistakes that companies are making right now in transitioning to new models?
Well, the first one is trying to do it with old systems. So new was built for this. There's a bunch of reasons why everybody you've ever heard of in AI runs new. OpenAI, Anthropic, Glean, Jasper, Legora, Cursor, Coder, and then tons of other AI companies that I'm just not listing off that time. It's a fundamental reason why none of them picked the old technologies. The second thing is stop thinking about these as different systems. Just think about what absolutely perfect looks like. for your customer and for your stakeholders, because with our agentic capabilities with MCP servers and the interaction between these things, the impossible is just going to be normal now.
You are really at the cutting edge working with those AI companies where you redefine value from both perspectives, the buyer and the seller.
For some of our customers, they literally swap the entire thing out incredibly quickly. Other customers, they'll just go, I'm not ready to do that. That seems like an awful lot. It's not as much as they think, but it's scary. They just basically just know that if their system can't bill it, new can.
How can people learn when they go to your website? What should they be looking at? Are there any white papers or industry analysts like Forrester or Deloitte or McKinsey studies that mention here?
Definitely when it comes to the site, one of the best ways to explore it, there's videos, all sorts of videos about that walk you through this, a bunch of new stuff coming out, but really focus on the part that talks about our revenue architecture. Just come to the site, realize that all the success stories of other companies that have transformed their entire architecture, and then just stop thinking about CPQ and stop thinking about billing, and then just come to us and say what you want to achieve. Don't worry about what software you need to buy. We'll help you figure that out, but just say where you want to go.